You also obviously spoke about your wife on stage. Have you spoken to her? Have you seen her?
Yeah, I have. She's cool.
You've seen her, or you've spoken to her?
Yeah, obviously I've seen her on video. But
how about the twins?
Yeah, the twins are good. They look like me.
Congratulations.
Yeah, they're fine. Growing very fast. So, yeah, I'm excited about that phase as well.
Yeah. Okay. So this one, I'm personally interested in the response because you get in the show, you're like top 3 most talked about. You're still most kind of like talked about a lot. Maybe the dynamics has changed. I don't know. Your partnership with Victoria, because you go into a show that initially it's like you have to compete as a pair, and you guys go in and it was just like you guys were like this, and there was just outside that you guys might have dated before. She cheated. I don't know which is true, but then I just didn't feel like I feel like you guys had issues before you went inside the house. So first of all, were you exes?
No, we never done anything romantically.
So what was it with that vibe when you guys got in?
I feel like I wish people saw it like a different way, or had maybe like a different perspective on it. But obviously we had a little bit of issues before we came in as friends would do and argue, whatever, So I think we argued about something small, nothing, but it just irritated me. So in the house, I just wanted a little bit of space.
Knowing that you're going to play as a pair?
No, but it wasn't like, I'm going to leave you to be by yourself. I thought, well, you know what we're here for. We have to build connections. So I thought, I'm going to go and build connections. You're going to build connections and would, come back and see where we kind of stand in terms of the old people in the house. There were 28 people in the house, So I wish people saw it from the angle of, if we're here to play a game, and she was not really doing much at the first 2 weeks because she found it a lot. She's an overthinker, whatever.
Yeah.
What did people expect me to do? I can never force anybody to be more talkative or be more interactive in the house. I can't do that. So imagine how, like, as a dual season, like, whatever I do affects her. Whatever she does affects me. So now she's affecting my game because she's not interacting with other people, and we need to interact with people to build connections so people can build alliances and all that type of stuff. So on my end, it's very frustrating because that was not the game plan at all.
Yeah.
But people kind of saw it as, I'm just not talking to... It wasn't that.
Yeah, I think it was a thing of, yes, you were not talking to her. She was having a hard time. I just felt there was probably something pre-show before you guys got in. And also, it felt like you may have been looking down on her or not giving her like an option to also be involved. An instance was when you went head of house and then you said, I pick, not we. So it was more like you were very self-centered, And what you did was that built her fan base.
Yeah, a lot of people told me that.
So they played, she wasn't giving content, but then you gave them the victim card to hold on to. And so they rode on that, and that's what you did.
Which wasn't my intention. I think with the I thing, I only said the I thing because, like, in there, it was like WANNI and HANDI were like my people.
Yeah.
She wasn't really close to them. But we had a conversation about that already. So every decision we made, we already had a conversation about. But they never might have shown it, or whatever the case is. Even the times when we might be going back and forth, she was just, a lot of times that she was quiet, it was more her own personal self. She's a big overthinker. So the cameras, her own personal perception, that was what the real issue was. It had nothing to really do with me per se. Of course, I could have been more maybe supportive or whatever. But it wasn't like, SHAUN has left me and now I'm going to cry. It wasn't about that.
Yeah, but then, that was an agenda to hold on to. If I was paid to do PR, I'll do the same. I'll do the same. But I was on your side anyways. But you did what you did. It is what it is. For HANDI, yesterday your sister broke down crying. She cooked, and next thing she just started crying. You're just like that. I was like, hey, have you guys ever been apart? Because your bond is crazy.
Yes, we have, but anytime we're apart, we still have the chance to speak or text. So this is like really the first time, if she stays till 71 days, with the longest we've ever gone without speaking to each other directly. And it's going to hurt, but I know she's a strong girl and she can definitely handle it.
What happens when you guys get married, though?
We're going to get married the same day now. Yes, now.
Then live apart?
We'll stay in the same state.
Okay, that still works.
I think I asked them the same question in the house as well. So what happens when you
what? You can't
like stay in the same state now. Maybe I'll be in Lekki, should be in VI, or I'll be in Oniru, should be in Ikoyi.
Can you handle? Have you ever done that before? Even in the same state, but like maybe different locations.
Yeah,
you have.
Yeah, when I was dating, when she was dating, she'd be in her boyfriend's house, and like I'll be home.
That doesn't count. Like full on apart.
No, no, we always see one way or the other.
So it's going to be tough.
Yeah, very tough.
Okay, speaking of which, of course, a lot of people also felt like you were constantly, sometimes when they're arguing, when you're constantly in the mix of SHAUN and WANNI.
Yeah.
Do you think that there were times where you could have given them space?
Yeah, I did give them space, and that's why I always say maybe a lot of the times they showed me on the show was like when I was with them most times, and I had times that I was on my own a lot of times, but times they were arguing, I was called to the mix a lot of times to see what was happening and like give my own opinion. So I had to, and there were times they were arguing, I'm like, when I've stayed a bit, I'm like, oh, I have to give you guys time now to like do things on your own, and I leave. So I don't know. It is what it is, but I don't mind being there for my sister and my friend SHAUN anytime they need me.
So how do you feel about her constantly being in the mix?
It wasn't even like constant.
And
in the house, because she was one of like my closest people, so it was fine really. It was probably like maybe only 2 times where we were like, okay, cool. And it was in arguments. Anything else was pretty much fine. We even like called her to come more often type of thing. So maybe they just didn't show those parts. It's probably just showing her when, in our space, but then maybe show her doing other things by herself.
Yeah. From my angle, I also think that the 4 of you who were sort of like in a clique were up compared to like, the aces and Nelitas, that's what they call them, right? Do you think that has something to play as well with the votings?
Maybe, but when I came on, I was kind of seeing the dynamics in terms of who has a fan base and who doesn't have a fan base. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, because you mentioned, well, we're going to get there. There was some of your analysis that was sort of wrong, when you were in the house. But of course, we're going to get that later. Now, for HANDI, you were like the life of the party. You gave us the content. I really don't know what happened with the votes. But Big Brother fans will be Big Brother fans. But then definitely you had, a good run.
Thank you.
But my question for you now is, do you think that if you were in a ship, it would have sort of enhanced your game?
No, I don't think so. Yes, ship might be of help to some people, but not everybody. So I don't think so. I think I played my game well. I was myself unapologetically. I was life of the party. I had fun. I had my laughs, my cries, and everything. I just wanted people to love me for me and not because I was in a sheep. So yeah,
I could have maybe made you get longer in the game or something. But was there a possibility for that if there was someone you liked in the house?
No, I really didn't vibe with anybody romantically in the house. It was just like friendship vibe. So yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go to TJ. But for you, SHAUN, you got in a ship in like week 2.
No, week 1.
Sorry, week 1. Day 2 is what I wanted to say. And I may be wrong, but then I feel like, do you think that was enough time to build your individual fan base if you're looking from that angle individually?
To how I saw it, I just feel like people will naturally see how I am as a person. So if people kind of like me, it didn't really matter whether I was attached to somebody else. And I think I'm quite a strong personality anyway. So they'll just see and be like, I either like this guy or I don't like this guy, regardless of if I was on myself or in a ship, to say. And I used to kind of float around and talk to different people anyways. So I think people would have just seen different sides to me. So
you don't think that sort of affected anything at all?
Maybe in terms of like,
not because you were in the ship, but the fact that you got in that fast. Quick. So was there enough time to actually build fans who are like shippers or core SHAUN fans? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I think maybe from the outside, like I've received a lot of love from people who just like me.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure if I can differentiate if it's like a shipping fan or just they like me, but it seems like it's just people who just like me as a person. So
I saw they gave you something yesterday. I saw that.
I really appreciate that.
I saw that online. For CJ, you were also you were so valuable in the house.
Thank you.
You were unintentionally funny. I see a lot of clips, online. How monumental? First of all, how would you describe your journey, in Big Brother house?
Yeah, I think it was an evolutionary journey. I saw evolved. I think I kind of stayed into my shell first, say, 3 weeks, trying to assess everything. Obviously, we're in a duo, so Ben is quite a loud guy, so I sort of just was sort of the person that was doing a lot of intelligent work for the house and taking care of the house, and maybe when people have one or two issues, come to me and chit chat. So I was actually fine with that. I'm comfortable in my own space. I'm not someone that really goes out to be heard. So when I came out and I saw like dance videos, memes, and all these things, I was like, what's going on here? I was just being myself, really. So, I was actually happy. But when Biggie dissolved the pairs, and Ben was getting closer and closer and closer to Chizoba, and it got obvious to me like they were becoming a sheep.
Yeah.
I sort of had to just let go of him, kind of. And so I did a lot of more blooming out, like sort of blooming up into my own personality, who I am with my friends. So I showed a lot of that, like, louder side of me. I started getting louder in the house, making my opinions heard, and forming new friendships, which I didn't do with Ben.
Initially, yeah.
Like Nelita and Aces, I wasn't really talking to them the first 3-4 weeks. But afterwards, we actually became really close, and I discovered they really cared about me. So, yeah, so I sort of evolved in the house, and then that was capped by being HOH, which I did enjoy, though it came with a lot of challenges as well.
Did you get a reward or compensation to teaching the head of house?
Just
not
responsibilities.
Because the same thing with Ben. Big Brother asked him to, steal. I don't know if you guys, he sort of took eggs and everything. And he was promised a reward, and he came here and he said he got, no reward. But then speaking about how, you got more vocal and had more, like, opinions, that also, was a little controversial outside. For instance, the Igbo conversation.
Yeah.
So I would need you to clarify that.
Yeah, so basically it's more, I think it was misunderstood. That's the thing. It wasn't about anything bad about the tribe or anything. I just felt like there was maybe a clique. Then it was an overthinking. It was something I overthought at that moment. But when I had a chat with the Mbadwe twins, they felt I overthought it. So we just moved. Everybody sort of just moved on from it, and from what I perceive from the fans and everybody, I think everybody has moved on from it. I'm not seen as that kind of person, so it's all love from here. I don't think there's really much to explain in that regard. So it was just something I overthought at the moment, and I was vocalizing that thought process to my duo Ben then. So. But I did explain myself to the house afterwards. It wasn't like I said it in hate. Okay. So, but yeah, it's fine, really. Okay,
fair enough. Yeah. For Handi, of course, for you and your sister, a big part outside was the Ruti drama. And she initially came out and said, she did not regret the whole situation. A few days later, I don't know whether she thought about it. I don't know, it was PR. I don't know what it is. She said she felt bad about what she had done with you guys. What do you think about the situation with Ruti and what she said post-show?
It is what it is, to be honest. The fire happened in the house, and she really said a lot of things that, firstly, they're lies, and it was just very sad that she could say those things about women like her. But now coming out of the house, I really don't want to even dwell on the fight anymore. I want to move past it. I'm not saying I'm going to go message or talk to her, but I just want to move past it and just forget about the entire drama, to be honest.
Do you think you guys will be cool?
No, but I can't tell the future. Who knows?
Okay, seems quite cool. The fire is is down. All right, so let me move to SHAUN. I'm pretty sure they've fed you a couple of things. But my first question, though, I think so far, it's not enough hate, but I feel like you probably have the most hate post-show for now.
Probably.
Yeah, but then I also know that before you went on the show, I feel like your friend Shegs had probably the most trolling, or also it was like the good and the bad side, like great support at the same time, great hate post show. I don't think yours is close, but do you think you're able to handle, you seem quite controversial, do you think you're going to be able to handle all of that post show?
Yeah, I think it's pretty standard. I mean, like, I already know, like, my personality.
Yeah.
It's like a hot or cold thing. It's just like, you either really love me or you don't like me at all. So I'm kind of cool with both.
Yeah.
People who kind of understand me. People who don't understand me probably don't want to, you know, so that's also fine. But that's like anything in life. You're going to get the balance of good and bad.
Yeah, I'm curious. So I'm going to ask what's the biggest misconception about you? And that's because a major thing you were known for was being brutally honest. But then, I mean, that works to me because I see it as being authentic. But then it's a case of BBN fans, there is no right or wrong. If you talk about my fave, even if you're saying the right thing, you know, they would drag you. But then if you're talking about somebody they don't like, they get to sort of hail you. So I think that was the situation with you. You would speak your mind, but then the fans are out there and like, why would you say this? I mean, there was Nelly and the likes of them. So just coming out, I've seen people call you proud, you know, arrogant, you're full of yourself. Which one would you say is a misconception?
I mean, first of all, I love myself. I'm not in like an arrogant
okay, you
way,
heard
but,
me say that.
you know, like self-love.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't big yourself up, then who's going to big you up? But I know that there's a fine line between like confidence and arrogance, and sometimes it's hard to tell the line. I'm a very like humble person as a human being, but maybe how I carry myself, people might project their own perceptions of me to myself, you know. But I think that's okay. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I think as long as I'm still how I am, people will still have those sort of feelings. But it's, you know, it is what it is. Okay,
for TJ, there was this conversation. The name wasn't clear. You did mention, who are you talking? You're talking to Victoria, and you mentioned that I heard a name, but I'm not sure. But then you did mention that someone was bisexual in the house.
Yeah.
Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, I did.
So who is the person?
So.
Or just
I wouldn't
say what you want to say. Go ahead.
I wouldn't want to address that. Yeah.
Okay. But then, what did you mean with that conversation? Like, just
so it was. I think it was really just joke. We're just joking around, and maybe someone was drunk or something.
You don't have to call the person's name, but were you joking?
No. So I mean, when I was talking with the person,
with Victoria.
No. The other
okay, the other party.
So probably were drunk and all that. So, I wouldn't want to talk more about that.
I don't think you were joking. But anyways, I'm going to move on from that one, and I'm still going to continue. Let me go back to SHAUN. So Oyinka's fans were in my DM. I wasn't going to ask you anything about Oyinka, so let me just find it and ask anyways. So apparently, first of she was remembering you yesterday because I think they have a task that you could have fit into. I think it had to do with football and modeling or something. And, you know, Ozzy and the likes were also saying that, you know, it would have been nice for you to be there. But here's my question. I'm just going to sum it up. I think there are shippers, WANNI and SHAUN shippers, who are probably, I don't know, maybe some insecurities or something. So how would you describe your relationship with Onyeka? Because it felt like some people felt that you liked her.
I mean, personally, I feel like, this is my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
If I liked any girl there, I would gone for them.
Yeah.
In that way. I already, when I came on the first day, there's a reason why I kind of just went with WANNI, because she kind of fit what I would kind of go for on the outside. And I analyzed everybody else. I was like, yeah, this is more my type, you know. So there was nobody else who really moved me. I pretty much thought that if I wanted to go for anybody else, I probably could have. So there was
nothing romantic
between me and Onyeka. She was cool, and we had like a real like friendship in terms of like genuine conversations, and we were honest with each other, and that was pretty much it, really. Plus, you had the thing with her and Ozzy, was more the thing.
Then that. Anyways, moving on from that. Also, you and Aces were like pretty cool. There was like the brotherhood thing in the beginning. I think you had like your brotherhood shippers initially. What happened in that mix? Because
I think maybe when I got with WANNI, they felt like, oh, well, this might be a small, in my personal opinion anyways, I haven't spoken about this with them, but it came across to me that, oh, maybe they thought, yeah, I want to go and get in a ship as well, because this might be fun, because you know what, we're young guys.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting old, but we're in our
really?
20s, and obviously there's girls, whatever, when there's guys, and attractive girls, you naturally gravitate towards each other. So I think when I kind of jumped in a ship early, they kind of wanted to find their own little partners or whatever.
Yeah.
And then once you kind of found our partners, you kind of just stuck there, and that was like a comfort blanket.
Yeah.
So we kind of left our little bromance thing that we had going on, but we're still kind of cool. But everybody kind of just kept to themselves and was with their ships, you know.
So you didn't think there was something else? Because it felt like you and Suj had like some, well, more
me,
Suj.
Yeah. Whenever I talk about this, it feels like people feel. I'm surprised people don't see. Maybe don't understand when I explain it. I didn't have any issue with Suj, but I just feel like Suj has imitated me in the house. We've done like a little acting improv thing, so he knows how I am. He knows that, alright, if there's any problem happening to anyone, I'll just go and address it with you.
Yeah.
And if you're meant to be my friend and you thought whatever you thought, then just come and address it with me. And when he tried to address it with me before I left, it was things that I never even said. So it was just carrying a grudge about things that I never ever said. So after that conversation, I decided,
just let it.
He's not the type of person I particularly want to be around like that.
But you're cool with Tofa?
I like Tofa. I actually like him a lot. He's a cool guy. Even though I know he said something about me one time, someone told me, but I might not really hold a grudge against him.
I think it was, I don't know if it's the same one I watched, but I think it's I don't know, I can't remember, but then I think it was more of him taking Such's side, yeah.
And
So
Tofa kind of be like that sometimes. He's easily swayed, in my personal opinion.
I mean, that's his pair. Anyways, moving on from that, let's see. Okay, so for Handi, just coming out, what is the one thing that you've had that shocked you?
Double K being married shocked me.
I know everybody would have asked you, so I didn't bother. Yeah.
So yeah, that was the biggest shocker for me.
How come nobody noticed though? Like, they were sneaking to kiss. Nobody.
I had a feeling, and like people were like probing them, but they kept denying it. Like Kelly would go full on defense mode, trying to tell everybody, no. So I was like, okay, if it's being like this, let me just take your word for it. And that was it. So when I came out and they were married, I'm like, wow. And they've been dating for 10 years and married for like about 3 months or so. I'm like, wow, these guys really played the game so well.
And you wanted to flirt with Kelly Ray.
Yeah, it was.
If that had happened, how would you feel now?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel, but I won't blame myself because I was acting based on what was said in the house. So I won't blame myself for anything. I'll just say, okay, you played your game. But if Kelly would have played into it, I'd be like, you know the real deal, and you're playing into it so deeply like this. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah. For TJ, you were very observant. I mean, you had certain predictions and they were true. For instance, on Sunday you kind of said who was going to be evicted, and just a couple of other things. Who in the house do you think is playing the game?
Yeah, obviously Double K. I think they played the best game in the house.
While you were in the house. Now you know because you're out. While you're in the house.
Yeah, I was even if you listen to my diary sessions, I always put them up as dark horses in the game. In the sense that I from week 3 I thought they were going to be favorites to win, honestly, because they would never stood up for nomination. So that triggered some sort of spidey sense in me to say, what are these guys up to? So I actually was suspicious of something like heavily romantic going on, but I'm not someone that would try to force a narrative on someone else. And Kelly Ray is my guy. I saw how personal he took it when he was questioned about their romantic involvement. So I didn't want to force it, but I was convinced more than ever that, in fact, there was a point I didn't talk to him, but I talked to Cassia. I told her like there's a lot of love here, because the story they were giving was that sort of in the house was that he was still maybe trying to persuade her or something. So I was like, yeah, he really loves you. There's obviously love him back. There's only so much time for reciprocation of love. So yeah, me and he was convinced though that it was on, but to what extent it was the issue. And seeing that they are married, shocked a bit, but not really surprised. I just knew they were. Myself and Tofadu always spoke about it, and we were sure that they had cooked up something really massive.
Fair.
But we didn't take it as far as, even OC too suspected as well. There was one time I joked about it and said Cassia was Kelly Ray's wife. OC too used to joke that she had 2 kids outside. Yeah, so yeah, I'm a bit sure. I'm impressed by the game, but not not overly shocked, really.
That happened. Speaking of Cassie and Kelly Ray, for you, Sean, you did not, especially in the first few weeks, even up to like the middle, you didn't see them as a strong contender. And you spoke about it, especially Cassie. I think you said she wasn't going to last. I can't remember your exact words, but she wasn't going to last. And then I think WANNI or HANDI said, you never know, what's happening outside. That was another trigger. So it was like, I'm going to show you, So why is it that you felt like you knew things that were happening in the house? I think that put you in a lot of trouble.
I didn't feel like I knew, but I'm someone who likes to analyze stuff a lot. And maybe speculate or whatever and throw it out there. So, I mean, I've never thought they were married because I'm not even close to them. But from the dynamics in the house, I didn't really see them do anything. So I just thought, if they're not really doing anything and necessarily interacting with the rest of the group or creating some sort of content or whatever, I don't understand how people can...
They'll have fans. Have you been watching Big Brother before now?
I watched Level Up, a bit of All Star, that was it.
Oh, no wonder.
So that I'm not a Big Brother fanatic and knows the ins and outs or whatever.
Oh, okay. So I see that. But then you've been in reality TV shows outside then, so you're judging based on that. Nigerians are picked on just because of aesthetics, and that's it.
But even like aesthetics-wise, I was like, the other people who you like... For me, I always look at people and be like, cool, they star quality.
I was referring to Victoria when I said aesthetics.
Okay, exactly. So I knew Victoria-wise that people may like her, even if she does nothing, just based on her aesthetics. But I also knew that you have to do something. Like, they can like you.
There has to be something.
But it has to be a little bit, so you have to give them something,
But you gave them something for her, though.
I know.
So, I'm going to touch you with that because it's annoying. Then Chinwe as well, when you were evicted, tweeted something like she was excited. Did you guys have issues?
I didn't. Maybe people have carried stuff in the heart. I didn't have any issues with Chinwe and Zion, but maybe because I put them up, maybe. And it wasn't personal to them. It's just, I wasn't that close to them. But probably I was cool with Zion, but I wasn't that close to Chinwe. And Chin was causing a ruckus in the house, man. So, so maybe that's probably what it was. When you come out, you might see who the people you put you up, and maybe she didn't like that. So I don't take it personal. It's cool. Also,
right here, they came out to, I don't know why they put that information out. I don't know if you've seen the video. They came out and said that you and WANNI were intimated lots of times in the house and started, but then obviously the conversation in the house was different. But just being out there, I don't want your opinion, on that one.